Welcome back to Real Talk That School Forgot. I'm Chris and I'm here with my guy Soren, and today we're talking about something that everyone knows they're supposed to be doing, but very few people have ever been taught how to actually do it. And that's real budgeting for, normal, regular people, not budgeting for the perfect people on YouTube who never overspend or, somehow survive on $7 a day.
Exactly. Because real humans have birthdays, they have weekend plans that pop up, they forget about subscriptions, their AC breaks. Grab that Starbucks when you're tired, they impulse buy on Amazon. So today, we're building a budget system that works even when life doesn't go according to plan. And the goal isn't perfection, the goal is clarity, control, and consistency. So let's start right here. Most budget failures happen because the system is unrealistic to begin with. People set budgets that don't match their habits, their personality, and their lifestyle.
Right. And if your budget requires you to become a completely different person overnight, it's going to fail. That's like saying, I'm going to start running tomorrow and immediately training for a marathon. It's just not realistic or sustainable.
There are truly three main reasons people fail at budgeting. Number one, they try to track too many categories. Two, they're too strict, leave no room for being a human. And three, they don't adjust their budget when life changes. The moment they mess up, overspend, or have a chaotic week, they just give up entirely.
Yeah. Budgeting isn't a test. A budget doesn't, grade you. A budget is simply a plan, and a plan is allowed to change. If you can shift your mindset from perfection to progress, budgeting becomes a tool and not a punishment. So the first step to building a real human budget isn't cutting spending; it's observing your spending. And we have mentioned this previously in the first few episodes, but we call this the 30-day money scan.
For 30 days, don't change anything. Don't try to fix anything. Just track what already happens. Think of it like, gathering data.
And the point is not to judge yourself. The point is to understand your actual behavior. You can't create a lasting budget if you base it on who you wish you were instead of who you really are.
You might discover, your $200 grocery budget. It's actually $450. You spend $120 a month on subscriptions you thought forgot you've had. Eating out is a bigger category than you realize. Target runs are costing you $200 you didn't account for. Gas prices fluctuate more than your budget does. And your weekend spending is doubled your weekday spending. This is the truth most people never see. And without truth, budgeting is really just guessing. Now, we move into the system, and this time we're going to go way deeper into each bucket.
Yeah. And bucket one, fixed expenses. Fixed expenses are the backbone of your budget. These are the things you must pay every single month, no matter what happens. And the more clarity you have on these, the more control you have over your entire life. And so, when talking about fixed expenses, what exactly counts as fixed expenses, right? It's your rent, your mortgage, you pay it every single month. Car payment, car insurance, health insurance, utilities. Sometimes we average it out just to help with the budget. And then internet, phone, childcare if you have children, your minimum debt payments, and we could even throw subscriptions in there and a gym membership.
And here's the thing people underestimate about these. They say my rent's 1500, but they, forget about the other fixed expenses that slightly raise the cost of living. We teach, our clients to calculate total fixed lifestyle constants. For example, rent 1500, car payment 350, insurance 120, phone 80, internet 60, utilities average out to around 150, subscriptions about $40, minimum debt payments $200. Total, fixed equals 2500 a month. Now, here's the magic question. Can your income comfortably support that number? If not, lifestyle adjustments need to happen now, not later. Why fixed expenses matter so much? They determine how much room you have to breathe. They determine how fast you can save, how fast you can invest, and whether emergencies break you or barely affect you.
If your fixed expenses eat up 70 to 80% of your income, no budget on earth will save you. You don't have a budgeting problem, you have a lifestyle sizing problem.
And bucket two, the flex spending. This is the most human category. Flex spending includes everything that doesn't stay the same every month. The emotional spending, the cravings, the weekend plans, the surprises. What counts as flex spending? It's groceries, gas, restaurants, coffee, shopping, entertainment, gas, travel, gifts, personal care. This bucket is where buckets go to die. And why? Because flex spending changes every week, because emotions drive spending, and because life isn't unpredictable.
Yeah, and I'm guilty of it too, Soren. But this is exactly why we teach the weekly flex system. The weekly flex system, instead of giving yourself a monthly amount, give yourself a weekly budget. If you have $800 for flex spending per month, break it into bite-sized chunks, $200 per week. This prevents the classic "I spent it all in the first 10 days" issue. And the psychology behind flex spending is influenced by a variety of different things, whether it's stress, boredom, convenience, comfort, social pressure, decision fatigue. Not everyone is bad with money. I mean, we're just human. And so tools that actually help, a separate flex spending debit card. You could even go back old school, cash envelope, use that method. Weekly reset minders and tracking your spending triggers.
The goal isn't to stop spending, the goal is to choose your spending instead of reacting to impulses.
Yeah. And so bucket three, it's the future you. This is where real financial change happens. Future you is the category that builds wealth, security, your stability, and freedom. So the future you includes, your emergency fund, high yield savings account, 401k contributions, your Roth IRA, brokerage accounts, your sinking funds we discussed in previous episodes, extra debt payments, and your big goals, whether that's, paying for a house, your wedding, travel. And why future you is the most important category? Because if you don't plan for future you and think about these things, your future you will become present you's biggest regret.
Automation, it equals wealth. If you automate your savings, your investing, your debt payoff, you will win, period. Their human brain can't out discipline automation. A sinking fund is a mini savings account for predictable expenses, car maintenance, gifts, vacations, pet care, medical copays, holidays. The expenses shouldn't surprise you. They should be slowly funded over time. Example, vacation sinking fund. Want to take a $2,000 vacation next year. $2,000 divided by 12 months, that's $167 per month. Suddenly, that big cost becomes manageable.
Future you budgeting is how you escape the paycheck to paycheck cycle. It's not about how much you make, it's about how you plan. And so, automating your paychecks, the system that builds wealth on autopilot. And so now that we've broken down the three buckets, we need to talk about something that completely changed my own financial life. And honestly, it's a thing that separates people who try to budget from people who actually succeed long term, and that's automation. If you've ever struggled with discipline, consistency, and remembering to, move money into your savings, automation is the answer, Soren.
Yeah, Chris, automation, it's the closest thing to a financial cheat code there is. When your money moves, before you even see it, you win. When your money depends on your willpower after a long work week, you lose. Humans aren't built for financial discipline, but the systems are.
Yeah, and why automation works and the psychology behind it. Automation works because it eliminates decision fatigue. You don't have to decide every paycheck whether you want to save or invest. It's already been decided for you.
And that's huge because most overspending and lack of saving doesn't come from bad intentions. It comes from a lack of structure. When your money automatically goes to the right buckets, you never get a chance to spend it accidentally.
Automation also keeps your emotional brain out of your money decisions. You're saving and investing even on weeks you're stressed, tired, or tempted to spend.
So, how to automate your paycheck? Let's walk through it exactly how to set this up. It's honestly way easier than people think, Chris. And once it's done, it runs in background like financial engine. Step one, log into your payroll or HR system. Most jobs allow you to split your direct deposit into multiple accounts. You usually see something like add bank account, add routing number, add account number, and then choose amount or percentage.
And you can direct deposit your paycheck into as many as typically 3 to 5 different accounts. Some employers allow even more. And so this is the foundation of automated budgeting. And so step two here, we're creating a separate bank accounts for different purposes. You want to create buckets with physical separation. And so a few examples of that, your primary accounts, your checking account, for your bills, checking account for your flex spending, your high yield savings for your emergency fund. And then you could even do a second high yield savings for your sinking funds. And then more optional accounts, that's your travel fund, your car repair fund, your holiday gifts fund, pet fund, medical fund, or even your big purchase fund, for your future car or that nice couch you saw on TikTok that you want. Those are all things that you plan for.
Yeah. And Chris, don't be afraid to have multiple accounts. The average millionaire uses between 6 to 12 different buckets. It doesn't complicate your life, it simplifies your behavior. And step three, decide what percentage of your paycheck goes where. This is where your three bucket budget becomes automatic. A simple example: bucket one, fixed expenses, bills, your steady stuff. Send 60% of your paycheck here: rent, utilities, insurance, phone, minimum loan payments. Bucket two, flex spending, weekly debit card, food, gas, restaurants, entertainment. Bucket three, future use, savings and investments. Send 20%. Emergency funds, sinking funds, investing.
And you can start with any percentages that fit your situation. Even 5% towards savings is better than 0%. We talked about the cost of waiting and the impact it had on Mr. Early and Mr. Late. Little will always be better than none. The goal is consistency, not perfection. And so, what this looks like in real life, imagine you get paid $2,000 every 2 weeks. Here's how it might actually split: 1,200 will go into that bills account, 400 into the flex spending debit account. We'll throw 150 into that emergency fund, 150 into sinking funds, and $100 into your Roth IRA investment account.
The key is that you never manually move money. It happens automatically on your payday. And if you do this right, you'll never overspend on bills. You'll always have money for fun, and your savings will grow without effort.
And what sinking funds to automate? Sinking funds are lifesavers. They prevent emergencies from turning into credit card debt. Here are the ones that, real humans and most people have. Car maintenance fund, you could throw 25 to $75 in there per paycheck. That's for your oil changes, your tires, any repairs that pop up. And then travel fund, 20 to $100 per paycheck. Save it up for vacations, flights, hotel stays, your Airbnb. And then gifts and holidays fund. It's always important to plan for that. 10 to $40 per paycheck. That'll account for the birthdays, the Christmas gifts, the wedding gifts, all the stuff that you don't necessarily always think about. And then your medical fund. This one's huge. 10 to $30 per paycheck, that'll cover your copays, your prescriptions, all things that are very, very necessary. And then, a lot of people overlook the apartment house repair fund. Throw 15 to $50 per paycheck in there. So if anything pops up, your furnace breaks, your fridge breaks, whatever it may be, you're taken care of.
Truly, Chris. And I'll be completely honest, like that car maintenance fund, it saved me this year. I went 3 years on my winter tires and came around this summer. Luckily, I started, setting some aside for it. I got a truck. Tires are expensive. Having that car maintenance fund, my tires didn't feel like a burden to me. And when you automate, 20 to $50 into each bucket, suddenly big expenses, they truly do become easy. Your future self won't have to figure it out because you've already prepared.
So the benefits of automation and, why it changes everything. When you automate your paychecks, five powerful things tend to happen. First thing, you stop overspending. Your flex money is physically separate. And then you save consistently. Even when you're busy, tired, stressed from work, whatever it may be, it's automated. And number three, you build wealth automatically. Your Roth IRA or 401k grows without emotional decision making. Then four, you remove guilt from spending. If it's in the flex account, spend it guilt free. And then five, you eliminate financial emergencies because sinking funds are waiting for the things that, you used to put on your credit cards.
Automation is peace, it's control, it's consistency. A budget is a plan, and automation is the true execution.
And so, how to know if your automation system is, truly working? Within 60 to 90 days, you'll know it's working when your bills are always paid on time. Your flex spending becomes predictable. You stop dipping into your savings, your emergency fund is growing, and you're no longer surprised by expenses. You actually feel in complete control.
And most importantly, you start feeling less stress about money because automation takes the mental load off your shoulders.
So, if there's one habit we want you to take from this episode, it's this: automate something. Just one thing: a savings transfer, sinking fund, a bill. And once you see how easy money management becomes, you'll never go back.
So, today we broke down budgeting in a way that real humans can actually follow: awareness, fixed expenses, flex spending, and investing in your future self.
And next week, we're going into your debt strategy, snowball versus avalanche versus reality.
Yeah, and truly hit follow, share these episodes with someone who needs to get a fresh start at a budgeting approach. And we'll see you next week.
And remember, life doesn't come with a syllabus, but your financial education starts right here.